Welcome back to the channel. It's time for some custard on custard action. I'm playing Dreadhost versus some sneaky Shadowkeepers. Okay, let's get straight into the rosters.
Efficient.
I wanted to get the Banana Boys back on the field, as I've touched up their paint jobs a bit, adding lots of silver detailing to break up the gold, as well as touching up the red details, redoing the base rims, and finally painting up 5 Venatari. I'm much happier with the overall look of my dudes now, except for the pose of this Telemon, who looks stupid.
It's a disgrace.
I'm gonna try and do something about the arm positioning when I can be bothered. Anyway, mission stats. We're playing Surround and Destroy, on a standard-sized board. For secondaries, I took Engage, Banners, and To the Last. My opponent took Stranglehold instead of Engage, and his other two were the same. Here's deployment. My Custodians and Sag Guard take each flank, with my bikes in the center next to a Telemon, Traj, and the Vexilla. I put my Eternal Penitent Telemon into deep strike along with my Venatari. The Shadowkeepers go for some cool-looking symmetrical deployment, as you can see here, and start with both Telemons on the table. His unit of 5 Venatari is, like mine, in deep strike. As for our To the Last secondaries, it's the 2 Telemons and the 5 Venatari for both of us.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
I get the first turn. On the left flank, my Custodians move out and raise a banner. My Shield Captain moves up 20 inches to the side of the building there, to score me Engage on all fronts. He should be safe from most enemy fire next turn, except for one unit of Sags. Here's my right flank. The bikes have moved right across from the center, my Telemon and characters moved up, and my Sags have raised a banner too. Here's a better angle so you can see what my units over here can see. In shooting, my Telemon does 2 wounds to the Telemon opposite it. Then, my bikes target the visible palace tank with their salvo launchers, and I use the Archaeotech munition strat, to get old-style melta-rolls at full range. It comes good, and they muller the palace. I did this rather than target the Telemon as I wanted to make a dent in the enemy's firepower right away, and I don't think I would have taken the Dreadnought out. This puts me on 2 points at the end of the turn, for Engage. In his first turn, the Sags on the right flank raise a banner, and the banner on the left flank gets raised by a unit of Venatari who flap over to bolster that flank. He makes an aggressive play for this objective, with a unit of 3 Spear Venatari rushing forwards and raising another banner, backed up by the invincible Shield Captain. The Telemon behind them hangs back, but the other one stomps forwards and manages to put its toes on the center left objective. His remaining palace goes inside this building. In shooting, the Sags over here are in half range of my Shield Captain.
You leave him alone!
They unload a potentially devastating volley, but he tanks everything with his 3+ invulnerable. I have worse luck over here, though, with the palace and Telemon over this side mullering 2 of my bikes and leaving 1 on 2 wounds.
Such bullshit.
Of course you noticed from the army rosters that his Telemons have a different loadout to mine, with a Fist and Iliastus. It basically gives them half the firepower of a Caladius tank. I didn't think it would be particularly scary, and it wasn't really, except I just whiffed a lot of save rolls. His Shield Captain attempts a long bomb charge to finish off the last bike, but fails. So at the end of the first battle round, Shadowkeepers have 3 points to my 2. Stranglehold seems like a great secondary for us Golden Banana Boys. My turn 2, and on the right flank I send everyone up to get stuck in.
We go forward, only forward.
Well, except the Sags, who have to stay back on the objective. I bring my Venatari down on the far right, to threaten the enemy Sags. On the left, my second Telemon emerges from Golden Light, ready to smash face.
Surprise, motherfucker!
It comes in as close as possible to the enemy Telemon over here. This is basically why I ran with Dreadhost, as I want to make its charge as reliable as possible, and the Dreadhost strat helps massively. Here's a better look at my Venatari, which I think are absolutely fantastic models. In shooting, I put superior fire patterns on them, and dumped 20 shots into the sag guard, but only managed to kill a single one.
Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Something wrong?
This is due in no small part to his use of the Shadowkeepers strat, Grim Responsibility, to give my guns -1 strength, making me wound on 4s rather than 3s.
You got all the tricks, don't you?
Man, that's a great strat. I think the only other thing I accomplish in shooting is my fresh Telemon softens up its adversary and puts 5 wounds onto it. Then, it's charge time.
Does anyone have a charger?
I use the Dreadhost strat to give both of my deep strike units a 3d6 drop the lowest charge, and my Telemon naturally rerolls thanks to Eternal Penitent. Well, the Telemon makes it in? But the Venatari fail, even with a friggin' CP reroll.
Okay, I'm waiting for the punchline.
God frickin' damn it, I had visions of them swooping in, mullering the sags, and taking the objective, causing all sorts of havoc. But no, now they're just gonna die like chumps after killing one single sag.
What did I buy you for? To make me sad?
Over here, we got a big ol' brawl, although I did try and charge the shield captain with the Telemon and Traj, but Traj failed a relatively frickin' easy roll, and I'd already used the reroll on the useless Venatari. My bike goes into his spearbirds. Finally, my own shield captain crashes into his sags on the left flank. My Telemon over here absolutely mullers its adversary, but doesn't quite manage to kill it, leaving it on 3 wounds. It takes just 3 wounds in return. Over here, the Telemon does an outrageous amount of damage to the shield captain, as he whiffs his 3 up invulnerables, but he then makes tons of feel no pain saves and only takes 3 wounds, leaving him with 6 left. The spear birdmen kill my bike, and take no damage themselves.
What the fuck?
My shield captain does a number on the sags, leaving just 1 left alive. This puts me up to 17 at the end of my turn 2. I got a nice fat 3 from engage this turn, and harvested 2 banners. On the left, the pussified Telemon falls back from my raging Telemon, and on the right, the pussified shield captain falls back from my other raging Telemon. He sends down his rightmost Telemon to shore up the right flank, moves his birdman to threaten Traj, and deep strikes in his unit of 5 pistol Venatari over here. Oh, you can see the palace has also moved out, and his Vexilla moved up and puts his toes on the objective over here, next to my raging Telemon.
Oh, high risk, saucy.
Finally, the sag guard over here falls back into the ruins, and 3 nasty old birdmen flap out, looking to pick on my shield captain. In shooting, the aforementioned birdmen somehow do 4 frickin' wounds to my shield captain. I do remember that my superior creation feel no pain save didn't save a single wound. It never does, for me. Over here, my Vexilla gets brought down to 2 wounds, and the pistol Venatari and sag guard rip through my own Venatari, leaving 1 left with 1 wound remaining.
I was dejected, despondent, and disgusted.
The Venatari used superior fire patterns, as mine had done, but with no Shadowkeepers strat to blunt their shooting they do way better. Over here, the birdmen dogpile my shield captain, but I think neither of us take any damage. The spearbirds over here charge in, kill my Vexilla, do a few wounds to Traj, and lose 1 of their number in return. His Telemon over here charges mine, but the dice just don't go his way, and after the dust settles he only has 4 wounds left while I have 9. The sags over here charge my last Venatari, hoping to rob it of its last wound? But it backfires, they do nothing, and 1 of them dies to the retaliation. Finally, my Telemon had heroically intervened into the nearby adrenaline junkie Vexilla, using the Fraternity of Heroes strat, and it reduces him to a nasty ol' smear on the ground, as he whiffs his storm shield saves. So Shadowkeepers still lead at the end of turn 2, 21-17. Although they didn't get anything for Stranglehold, they got more for primaries, and 3 banners. My turn 3. On the left, my shield captain stays in combat, my Telemon strides towards its opposite, and my 3 custodians run onto the center left objective, but they have to advance, so they can't raise a banner. I really screwed up their movement in the previous 2 turns, and didn't work it out to maximize what they could do throughout the game. On the right, my sags come out as much as they can while still staying on the objective. In shooting, they take aim at his big unit of pistol birdmen, but don't even manage to kill a single one.
Fucking hell!
Better shooting over here, though, as my Telemon deletes the nearby one with its Arachnus cannon. Combat sees the sag guard finally finish off my last Venatari, and shockingly, Traj gets mullered by a hail of blows from the birdmen. This is his 3-up invulnerable save roll.
A crushing blow? Yes.
It's not all doom and gloom, though, as my Telemon over here flattens the other one. That's both enemy Telemons destroyed, crippling their to the last score, while both of mine are still alive, for now anyway. Lastly, my shield captain continues his losing battle against the birdmen, slaying one but taking another 2 wounds, leaving him with 1 wound remaining. Again, no superior creation rolls are passed. Thanks to the shifting tides of the battle, I got 15 for primaries this turn, and a few more here and there, putting me up to a decent 36. Not a ton of movement this turn, really. Here's a wide shot of the board. And a closer look at where most of the action takes place. Basically, his full-strength unit of pistol Venatari fly into this building. His 2 spear Venatari move down here to threaten my sags. His shield captain is positioned wisely so that he can either charge the sags or the Telemon, depending on how shooting goes. I assume he keeps the palace on the objective in case the shield captain moves away to charge the sags, so he'll deny me scoring it next turn if that's the case. Anyway, in shooting, his pistol Venatari wipe out my sags. Sad face. This frees up his shield captain to charge my Telemon.
Try me, bitch.
But he bites off more than he can chew, only doing 2 wounds to the big bastard, and taking 4 in return. Again, he majorly whiffs on the invulnerable save, but then rolls over the odds for superior creation. Over in the top left, the lone sag guard who survived the initial assault comes out to join the fray. But my shield captain survives by the skin of his teeth, and manages to kill another Venatari as well. Shadowkeepers are up to 37 at the end of their turn 3, then, 1 point ahead of me.
I don't quite know what we should do.
My turn 4. On the left, my custodians finally raise a frickin' banner on the center left objective. I wanted to send them up to help out my shield captain, but I need to keep them in that quarter to score engage on all fronts. My shield captain stays in combat. My badly wounded Telemon falls back away from the shield captain, to try and help score engage on all fronts. My healthier Telemon moves across and squares up to the enemy general. In shooting, my Telemon manages to finish off the shield captain. My healthy Telemon then makes a long bomb charge into the palace, and destroys it. But over here, my valiant shield captain finally succumbs to the savage onslaught and is dragged kicking and screaming to the ground.
Look how they massacred my boy.
A relatively low-scoring turn, then, sees me go up to 44. I only reap 1 banner, due to my sag guard having been killed, and I think some Venatari managed to steal the objective. His pistol Venatari move over here. He still has a sag guard hiding in the top right objective, he has 1 in the top left, and 2 Venatari in the bottom right, so it's another 15 for primaries. The Venatari down in the bottom right also raise a banner. In shooting, he puts everything he can into Telemon that has 2 wounds left, but he only manages to do 1 wound to it. Despite this bad luck, the Shadowkeepers do now soar ahead to 57 points. I'm just getting mullered on the primaries. Last turn. There isn't really a lot I can do. My wounded Telemon just kills one of the sags in shooting, and my other Telemon in the bottom right manages to wipe out both Venatari. I should have left them, really, so I could have charged onto the objective and removed the banner. Here's the score sheet at the end of my turn 5, then. I go up to 58, but of course there are a fair few end-of-game points still up for grabs. The unscathed Venatari grab both of these objectives, and plant a banner on the center right one. Finally, the goddamn lone surviving spear Venatari, who had savagely butchered my shield captain, flaps across here and murders the Telemon. We'll go on to the final score sheet, which includes all post-match points. The game ends with an 87-75 victory to the Shadowkeepers. I have myself down as scoring 73, but I don't think I noted the end of match points for my 2 banners. Anyway, you can see I got mullered on primaries and on raised banners. Having said that, I'm not too displeased with the result. It's certainly a lot closer than some of the other matches I've lost recently, and I felt I was in with much more of a chance here. Additionally, my opponent was more experienced with Custodes, so I was pleased to get at least a decent score, which admittedly was due to a few stratagem reminders etc. from my opponent. I was very impressed with the performance of the Spear Venatari, so much so that it's definitely made me consider picking up a few.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
They're relatively speedy, they fight well, They're cheap enough points-wise to not worry too much about, and they're great for actions. They just seem all-round useful. It was nice to see some palace in action for the first time too, even if they didn't do that much in this battle. Anyway, that'll do it for another report. Thanks to my opponent for the great game, and thanks to you, for watching. If you liked it, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and all that shiz, and I'll hopefully see you in the next report. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe.
You filthy animal.